think the last 3 presidential elections, like what we were choosing between, shouldn't be acceptable to anybody. It should not be acceptable. It's a fucking joke. It's
the
a
big
fucking
money
joke,
in
okay?
politics.
You got a guy who starts a sentence, and by the time he gets to the end of it, he can't remember what he said in the beginning. And then you have like the biggest con artist ever. And, what about liberals? The last 3 elections, they didn't let you pick who you were voting for.
That's right.
Bernie Sanders 2 times in a row. They're like, no, f*** you. Here's the company, man. And then they stick with Mr. Magoo until like 3-4 months out. I don't know.
We cannot say enough how much of a breath of fresh air Bill Burr has been to the left since the onset of the presidential election. Whether he intends to or not, he frequently communicates populist progressive values to an audience that would greatly benefit from advocating for the same values and policies.
And I've gotten to the point, not only do I not watch politics anymore, I'm starting to pull back from sports because now they're all involved in just like we're entertainment leagues. You can pay college players, and now I saw some billionaire going, this is a tremendous opportunity. Like these college teams are going to be for sale. It's just like, do you have to fucking own everything?
I know.
Do you have to fucking own everything? Why can't you just? And then what? If they're going to move Alabama to Memphis, if they don't give them a new fucking stadium like they do at a pro level, it's like you can't get away. You can't get away. That's what I hate is you cannot. Like, where is my escape from all of this?
There's no true escape because virtually every single one of our institutions and corporations, including sports leagues, the media, retail stores, restaurants, etc., have all been sold off to the highest bidder and reduced to mechanisms to make the rich even richer.
Like I'm watching like the World Series, and in the middle of it, they have this stand up for cancer, and everybody stands up sad, holding these signs, and everybody knows somebody that dies of cancer, but nobody brings up that our food supply is totally fucking poison. And then if you sit there going like, can I just watch a fucking baseball game without being reminded that corporations are killing their own countrymen, and nobody's going to do or say anything about it? But if you stand at a baseball game with tears in your eyes, like the Indian with the pollution when I was a kid, which they also did nothing about. Like I'm supposed to somehow feel better. It's annoying.
Burr brilliantly captures the frustrations that the vast majority of Americans are feeling despite his class interests telling him to advocate for the opposite of what he just said. But as you probably expected, Burr's focus on calling out the underlying corruption destroying our country and the ruling class's role in facilitating said destruction has offended the right-wing media ecosystem, especially in the wake of Bill Burr's recent Jimmy Kimmel appearance, where he said this about the Los Angeles wildfires, quote, "I think everyone did a great job, unlike the internet. Oh my God, all of these fire experts. Why don't you just fly a helicopter into the ocean? F it. I don't know, because there's 100-knot winds. You want to do that? You want to do that at night? You effing lunatic." This was definitely mismanaged. Like some idiot on the internet knows how to manage the worst fire in LA. Sitting there in his underwear, continuing to take aim at right-wingers. Burr went further, saying, "I love how all the chatter out there is about bans of illegal immigrants and homeless people lighting fires. They're lighting fires every day. They live outside. They're effing cold." And speaking on insurance companies reportedly pulling coverage out of the affected areas, Burr said, "They're talking about looting, but CNN and Fox News are not going to bring up the insurance companies that are just going to keep everyone's premiums and still give themselves a bonus. Free Luigi," causing Kimmel to be even more nervous than he already was throughout Burr's rant. While it's obvious that there were failures at all levels throughout the response to the LA wildfires, firefighters and other first responders are doing the best they can given the circumstances they're working under and should be celebrated for the work they're doing. But as soon as you speak out against the rich and powerful and tell a couple of jokes that challenge the perspective of some of the worst people online, they circle in and attack.
Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStrom Show. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
So there's no real punchline there. There's no setup. There's no humor of any kind. It's just mocking the idea that normal people could possibly be qualified to judge or even notice outrageous incompetence in the leadership class. Even when that incompetence is burning down their city, Bill Burr thinks it's absurd for anyone on the internet to point that out.
Self-proclaimed Christian nationalist and anti-LGBTQ plus bigot Matt Walsh didn't even try to understand the central point Burr was making about trusting the experts to handle the situation instead of scouring for information to confirm your preconceived biases and conspiracies.
And Bill Burr is now a partisan hack. That's what he's devolved into. And whatever you blame for his downfall, whether it's his age, the influence of his leftist wife, which a lot of people have pointed to as kind of the beginning of the end of him actually being funny, or you point to his politics or whatever, or the fact that he started starring in, movies, and he was in Breaking Bad and these Hollywood things, and started hanging out with people in Hollywood and going to the cocktail parties. I mean, all that stuff probably is part of it. But the inevitable conclusion is that Bill Burr is no longer a comedian. He's like Howard Stern, Jimmy Kimmel, so many other former comedians like them, now just a washed up political hack who's all too willing to read from a script that absolves his masters in the Democrat Party at every opportunity.
Aside from the obvious dog whistle of Walsh calling Burr's wife a leftist solely because she's a black woman, all Walsh is doing here is playing into the buzzwords and phrases that he knows his audience will respond to. Burr's anti-corporate and general anti-establishment views do not fit in with either political party's platform, so reducing all of his political commentary to simply shilling for the Dems is not only incredibly lazy, but also completely transparent, which brings us to this stooge.
That they did a great job of what they're doing. This dude is completely out of touch. Okay, he also there's another clip, Robbie. I'll just say it. He criticized CNN on the same episode that the healthcare industry, the United Healthcare CEO's assassination, and he supported the accused Luigi Mangione. He goes, "Free Luigi." Because he's comparing him to insurance practices. Oh yeah, that's who he is.
Meet Vinny Oshana of the PBD Pod.
For disaster. And let's go back to who Bill Burr really is. During the pandemic, he criticized those. I don't know if you have, Rob, do you have those where he criticized anyone who opposed masks and vaccines? This guy, in 2021, he criticized anybody refusing, and he said, it's so effing dumb. This, I don't trust it. You're all full of shit and you don't trust it, highlighting everybody's reasoning. This is who Bill Burr is. And then in 2020 on Rogan, he defended wearing masks. When Rogan questioned the necessity, he responded, "I'm not going to sit here with no medical degree, listening to you all with no medical degrees, acting like we know what's better than the CDC." Okay, this guy's probably quadruple vax and has taken every vaccine.
If you legitimately think that using someone's advocacy for vaccines and trusting the science behind them is some sort of own, that says much more about you than it does about whoever you're trying to criticize. Just like Walsh, Oshana missed the point of Burr's rant entirely and is using it as a means to play to what the PBD audience responds to, right-wing propaganda.
Then I realized, think about the household. You guys remember his wife? Nia Renee Hill. She was at a UFC match. She got great seats because of probably Dana White and the Joe Rogan relationship. She's sitting behind the president of the United States, who's very close with Donald Trump, and she's flipping the bird. Look at Bill Burr's face and look at her flipping the bird. And then in my head, Tom, I'm like, what would make somebody have this much hate? Emerson College. She went to Emerson. What kind of school is Emerson?
It's a very liberal college.
Oh, okay, so it's one of those, okay.
It's no coincidence that Oshana and Walsh used the same dog whistle to suggest that Nia Hill, Burr's wife, has in their minds corrupted him and disingenuously changed his political beliefs. They're deliberately playing into the racist conservative stereotype that all black women are crazy libs who can't think for themselves and just toe the party line, which is undoubtedly what a section of the PBD audience already believes.
I not only disagree with it, I hope like whoever's in his ear, and I think we know who it is, you need to get out of that woke mind virus because it's not working.
If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.